Hello everyone, this is DJ Phillips for JamPlay.com. Today we're looking at the song Super Bad, Super Slick by James Brown. Not to be confused with the song Super Bad, which is a different song. But this song was released as a single in 1975, and it's kind of like just a long format jam. It does have a form to it, but it's a very loose form, and it's got definitely the feel of just hanging out and jamming, and then occasionally going to the chorus, you know, that kind of thing. You can definitely hear the sound of the 70s creeping in with some flanger on the guitar more than songs that were earlier in his career. And it's got 3 guitar parts. On the original recording, there's just one. There's one electric guitar part. So we're going to do that, of course. And then I've arranged the clav and sort of the organ part for guitar, just so we can kind of add some of those other elements in if you don't have those players. And then also there's a trombone solo about 2/3 of the way through that's pretty cool. So we have that arranged for guitar as well. So let's get into it, and we'll start looking at the first electric guitar part. All right, so the first electric guitar part is the only electric guitar part that's in the actual recording. But for our purposes, it's, you can think of it as electric guitar 1. And it's got a few different parts because we've got a intro part, but it's the same as the verse part. And we've got a chorus part that's different, and then there's a bridge section that's different as well. But most of the song you're going to be playing this main lick, which is and that's it. So once we get that lick down, you've got a vast majority of the song. So what we're doing is we're starting on an F note. We're doing a little ghost note, open D, then 3rd fret on that 4th string. Then you come off 3, 0, then down to this D here, 5th fret on the 5th string. And really, we're just kind of palm muting everything. It's a really subtle, you don't have to super dig into it. You can kind of just kind of keep it nice and relaxed. But you do want to palm mute it a little bit with your right hand. So let's just do that together a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. That is it. So once you've got that down, there's some room for a little bit of improvisation there while still keeping it basically the same part. You could do something like little rhythmic variations to, you can do more pull-offs. You can add a little stuff in there if you want, but that's really all he does. He does a little bit of variation maybe as the song goes on, but not much in that part. The second part, which doesn't come for a while, the measure is about, the verse is about 12 measures after a 4-measure intro. So it's a good 16 bars of just playing that lick by itself. Before we go to the chorus, when James Brown says, "I got soul," the first time, we jump up to the same. We're going up to a D, so we're still doing like kind of a D minor thing here, but we're in 7th fret on the 3rd string. And what we're doing here is D to C, so 5th fret, 7th fret to 5th fret. Then we're coming up to this F note. And that's the only 3 notes involved in this little part of the lick, so it's 6th fret on the 5th string there. So the first time around, that's exactly how he plays it rhythmically. And the second time we get to the chorus, he changes it up a little bit and does. So there's a little bit of variation there, but not a whole lot. Let's do it just the way we do in the first chorus, just this first time around. Okay, let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're pretty static in this song on this guitar part. Really, the motion is in the organ part, and then there's some background vocal parts and stuff like that. But we're just kind of the organ part will be in the second guitar part that we'll look at. We'll cover that. But this guitar part is really just kind of static. It's just kind of staying in one place. So it's a little bit boring, you know, if you're just playing it by itself. When you're playing along with the track, though, you can just kind of feel the groove and just, you know, just kind of try to keep a pocket as much as you can. This is a good one to kind of practice with a metronome if you're not used to that, staying in meter in a real strong funk situation. This is a good thing because the part is not that difficult, so you can just kind of focus on, you know, staying in time and keeping that pocket. Okay, so the only other part really is the what I'm calling the bridge, which we go to twice. And basically, you'll hear on the record there's like a flute or organ or something, and that goes da 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 dum, and it comes down. You know, it's like. So we're not going to play that in this part, but right after that hits, when that hits on the 4 chord, so if we're going from D and we're going down to a G chord, we're going to be on a G9 or a G7 really, because we don't really. Well, yeah, it's the G9. So we're going to go 10, 9, 10, starting on the 5th string. And we're just going to slide back and forth between that and the fret below. And then just add that top part of a G9 chord. So 10, 9, 10, and then 10, 10. So it's going to go da 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 da. So we do that a total of 6 times that we're going to go slide through that thing. So it's a lot of times. So we'll give you lots of chances to work on that. And it's hard to keep that going, to keep that sustained. So one of the things you can do is like strum it again halfway through if you want. Or you could strum it every time if you wanted, but try to keep it you know, loose sounding. You don't want it to sound like, you know, you want it. And you can kind of improvise that rhythm afterwards. He kind of changes it every time. It's a little bit different. So you can try a couple different rhythms when you bring in that top part of the 9 chord there. After those 6 times, we're going to do this walk down, which starts on an A chord. So we're going to do this kind of small three-string voicing of an A chord. So 11, 9, 10, starting on the 4th string. I'm going to bring that down to a G. So same thing, down 2 frets. Same thing, down 2 more frets to an F. And then we're going to end on a Hendrix chord. So Hendrix chord is an E7 sharp 9. So you can hit that low E, and then 7, 6, 7, 8. So it sounds like this. And then we're back to the beginning there. Okay, so let's try that whole bridge, keeping in mind that we're going to do that slide 6 times. So it's a lot of times. So you may, I'll try and cue you so that we don't get lost there. 1, 2, 3. Here goes the horn part. Da 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 da. times. Here we go. Back to that main part. And that's really the only big change is that part. And we only do that one more time. So we go through that. We go verse, chorus, and then there's kind of an interlude and then another verse. It's not super, it's a very loose kind of structure. And if you kind of, I just sort of decided that sort of sounded like a 4-bar interlude. But, you know, James Brown's kind of changing up each verse so they're not exactly the same. It's not like a traditional song structure where you have like a melody that repeats itself, because he's just kind of, it sounds like he's kind of riffing a little bit, and then we get to the chorus. And the chorus is really decided by the band after the first time, because he sings something different over that too. So you can tell it was, you know, I don't know the history behind where the song came from, but it definitely seems like it came from a jam where they were just kind of like, okay, now hit the chorus, and then, you know, not necessarily do this many bars and then hit the chorus. You know what I mean? It was just kind of that sort of thing. But you can structure it in a way where it's very similar setup each time. And then it goes, so it's verse, chorus, then bridge. And then we're going to do that again, but a trombone solo, which we'll take a look at later. And then we do the chorus again, and then, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of repetition in the song. The song's like almost 7 minutes long. I think it's like 6:43 or something. So there's a lot of jamming to do in here. You may find yourself just kind of wanting to improvise over top of it, which is fine too. You can do a lot of cool stuff, and we'll talk a little more about that when we get to the third guitar part, because we can talk about how he's soloing over it in the trombone. So, but that's it for the first guitar part. Toughest thing about it really is that just that sliding back and forth and not getting lost in it. That's one of those things where it can be good to kind of just have maybe a little roadmap in front of you, a little chart just to know how long you're doing the measures. Or another thing you can do if you're playing along with the track is listen for the cues to, oh, okay, now we're going to the chorus. So there'll be musical cues that'll kind of lead you into it a little bit. Okay, so that's it. In the next scene, we're going to take a look at the second guitar part.